Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. So in this video I want to talk about, maybe have a slight rant on the social stigma about being a YouTube blacksmith. We'll put that in air quotes there for you. So some people don't realize that there is a social stigma around being a blacksmithing influencer or somebody who's online or who posts to social media, you know, constantly their work, their ironwork, their things like that. But more specifically, we're going to talk about the YouTube smiths out there themselves. And this goes for everyone. And I know a lot of my fellow YouTube smiths have probably experienced this themselves. I don't want to put words into their mouths, but I know I certainly have, so I'm going to talk about it. So the social stigma around being a YouTube blacksmith is something that I have struggled with ever since starting this YouTube channel about 6 years ago. And what is that? What's that look like? Well, in normal conversation, it goes something like this. Oh, the real blacksmith, or I'm a real blacksmith, not one of those YouTube blacksmiths. Or, oh, well, you know, you've got real instruction and then you have YouTube educated blacksmiths out there. YouTube instruction, you know, putting those little air quotes up there. And that is the stigma by and large. What it is that somehow being a blacksmith on YouTube, teaching and educating for 100% free of charge is somehow a lesser position, or it somehow has people who don't know what they're doing educating out there, and they're the ones that are online. Now, I'll concede anytime that you have any social group, whether it be a Facebook blacksmithing group, it be an in-person blacksmithing group, or any place where you would encounter other blacksmiths other than yourselves, there is a opportunity when free knowledge is being shared that not all that knowledge is good or great advice or even accurate. It's going to happen, and that's going to happen regardless of the platform, whether it be YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, your local blacksmithing guild. You're going to get the amount of knowledge and experience of the person you're talking to, and you can take it or leave it, treat it as gospel or not. So how does that apply to the YouTube blacksmiths, if you will? It applies to the YouTube blacksmiths because of this stigma around we're the others that are online, and the real blacksmiths, they've got day jobs, or the real blacksmiths, they work full time. And I would like to posit to you that it is more difficult to not only be a full-time blacksmith, as what you see here, but also produce content that people actually give a rat's butt about. It is very difficult. And everyone thinks that it's real easy to stand in front of a camera and record yourself, like one of these bad boys here, until you have to. And then after you get done doing that, you post a video and you get your teeth kicked in by a zillion comments telling you that you talk too fast, you talk too slow, you didn't talk enough, you talk too much, right? And still progress and continue to put and pump out content because you believe in disseminating knowledge out there for everyone to enjoy this great craft and to make it possible using this platform that is YouTube. So that brings me to my next point. Whether we like it or not, as blacksmiths, as blacksmithing organizations, and I'm speaking to you out there, blacksmithing clubs all around the world, whether you like it or not, YouTube and the YouTube blacksmith and that kind of free sharing of knowledge as a platform online as a way of people learning to educate themselves, finding their favorite smiths, looking up to those smiths, learning from those smiths, getting that knowledge. Whether you like it or not, this is the new future. It is. This is the new horizon. It's the new frontier. However else you'd like to take and say it. YouTube right now, in this moment, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook is already done past. Instagram is slowly passing. And then it's the TikTok and the YouTube and the things like that going forward. This is the new way that people who are interested in the craft are choosing to communicate. And you've got this choice that you can pivot and you can uplift this portion of the community of blacksmiths, or you can keep sticking your heads in the sand and playing that old tried and true clicky game of, well, you know, we are the number one, we're the top dogs in the space, and everybody who wants to come into blacksmithing needs to go through us. That just simply won't work anymore. It just won't. That being said, should you not get a part of a local group? Absolutely not. I love local groups. If you live by a local group, or if you're within a few hour drive of your local group, you should go get in person, get involved with your local blacksmithing organization, group, club, and support them in their endeavors and be a valuable member. Not just a succubus standing in the crowd pointing a finger saying, hey, you guys are doing all this wrong. Actually be part of the solution and help these groups along. Most groups, blacksmithing groups, they don't have, they don't have people running their social media. Or if they do, it's volunteer and, they're doing their best. They're not tech savvy people. This is something where you young smiths out there that are just getting into this thing could really help your local blacksmith groups out and clubs and bring them into this 21st century of smithing that we are all knowing, resenting, loving, hating, whatever you want to call it, depending on what side of the aisle that you are on. You can bring them into the 21st century and help to make sure that these clubs stay around for many, many generations to come. So there is places where they can hire instructors to come teach, right? You can recommend in these groups YouTube educators that you would like to see and have them host. Or, again, highlight people who don't have that kind of platform or that media voice about their work, but are fantastic artists, artisans, and blacksmiths. With that being said, let's bring it back around to the subject matter at hand. We need to get past, in blacksmithing, as well as a nation, as well as a world, as well as just human beings, period, around the tribalism and the kind of the clickiness of groups that we find ourselves in, that become exclusivity, right? And it ends up making others feel excluded from a particular group or a particular learning. And that being said, it's up to each and every last one of you. I don't know who's going to be watching this, but I'm pretty sure somebody out there watching this video who has a strong opinion one way or the other is going to say, oh, well, yeah, you got me. I've said it like, oh, those YouTube blacksmiths out there, as if somebody in person that you met is oh so much better than a YouTube blacksmith. So I get that all the time. It used to bug me to no end, because I have done a lot of ironwork in the last 14 years of smithing that I've done. I've put out thousands upon thousands of pieces for my clients all over the world. I have ironwork literally on every single continent besides the Antarctica. I've literally got a piece of ironwork all across the globe. And I have successfully ran this YouTube channel and have built this out with over 1,700 videos of free content to teach and to share the love of the craft out there. So I am very proud to say that I am a YouTube blacksmith. I am a YouTube blacksmith educator. And I believe that there needs to be a lot more of you, quote unquote, professional smiths putting your face where your mouth is and getting on camera and sharing what you know in this day and age of technology where we're at, so you have a voice in 200 years from now when people are all digital. Because the day and age of books and living on in just literature and a random article or post and a news clipping, those days are bygone years, and this is the new form that we're that we're working with, if you want to leave a legacy behind, and I welcome it. I welcome as many YouTube people, as many professional master smiths, professional blacksmiths, intermediate blacksmiths, or even beginner blacksmiths to get online, create yourself a profile, get your legacy out there, teach those who you can, be realistic about what you don't know, and defer to other people who may know more. And let's continue to share the love of this great craft around the world for hundreds upon hundreds of years to come. So that's it for today. Thank you all for watching this video. Thank you to all of the channel members that love this guy right here and support Christ Centered Ironworks on a regular basis. Couldn't do this content without you. If you enjoyed this content, please share it around. Share it around with friends. Share it around with groups. Share it around online. Let's change that stigma about being an online YouTube blacksmith and start really saying what it is, being an online educator. So that's it. God bless. We'll catch you on the next one.